Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So guys, in this video we will have our discussion on the importance of the Gupt Navratri, and we will also try to connect my forte, which is of astrology, planets with it. So guys, as you know that when it comes down to the backstory of the story for the selection of any topic on which I make videos. So you know this thing, I always prioritize the governing theme of the day, which somehow motivates me or inspire me. So today at a time when I'm recording this video, it's the time of the new moon, and just because of the presence and closeness of the planet Jupiter, it actually makes it very auspicious. And even in my couple of the last videos, I have been giving and attaching importance to the Hindu festivals which will begin in next couple of days. And guys, when it comes down to the importance of the Hindu festivals, so they are all based on the lunar or the calculation of the moon, completely in synchronicity, in harmony with the nature. So like the way I never preach or advocate one specific belief system only, like spirituality is attuned more with your soul. So even if you are a Muslim, you are a Christian, you are a Sikh, but you are very spiritually aligned, so you can actually extract the benefit of these alignments as well. And guys, like talking specific about the Gupt Navratri, and in this video we will be having our discussion from the point of view of the Das Mahavidya as well. So just because I generally talk on those topics on which I have practically experienced something. So like one of the Das Mahavidya, which is like Ma, goddess Baglamukhi, goddess Dhumavati. So even last year when I was like vacationing and doing pilgrimages in India, I got this chance to visit this shrine, like Pitambari shrine, where I happened to like do the darshan of the goddess Dhumavati and goddess Baglamukhi, and I couldn't tell you the kind of energy which I practically experienced over there. So somehow, see, the thing is, when you visit the any of the goddesses temples, like even I remember I was very young at a time when I visited Kolkata, and I visited the Dakshineshwar Kali temple. So the energy which you experience over there is like is very apparent. So that somehow like gave me this motivation that we can have our discussion on this. And like the way guys, the whole objective of this video is just to share with you the importance of these days. Now here I'm not going to be talking about or giving you any specific like practice. This video, the whole objective of this video is to let you know the importance and briefly connect the Das Mahavidya with it. Because for example, um, there is one spiritual preacher. He generally comes in a lot of the Indian podcast. Raj Rishi Nandi, if I'm not wrong, that's what his name is. Very respectful and very knowledgeable. So in one of his video, he was even mentioning that in these days you can do the Siddh Kunjika Stotram 27 times. Then you can do the Durga Kwach as well. So I mean to say, it is all dependent on your preference and your austerities. Again, like the way I mentioned, in these days moon is in a perfect alignment. So even if you're like a Kal Bhairava devotee, you are a Lord Shiva devotee, you are like Lord Vishnu or Krishna devotee, or even if you have a different faith, so these days can be prioritized to get emboldened in your austerities. So yeah, that's what the objective is. So yeah guys, we will just start our discussion. It's like just a random few slides which I have collated over here, and I will be just explaining you the importance of that. So just because the whole discussion is on the goddess only, so we do not have to recite a separate chant for her, but yes, we will first start with the mantra connected to the Lord Ganesha. So Om Vakritun Mahakai Suryakoti Samprabha Nirvignam Kurumadeva Sarvkareshu Sarvada. O Lord Ganesha, who has got a curved elephant trunk, who has got a huge belly, and who has got a brilliance of the billions of the suns, please remove all the obstacles from my path. So, guys, the very first slide is So the very first slide is about the way I mentioned. Gupt Navratri holds a special significance for the sadhana, spiritual practice, compared to the more commonly known as the Chatra and the Sharad Navratris. So, you will get to know the whole difference, which I'm like trying to explain over here. But in short, the Chatra Navratri, which we generally celebrate around the months of the March and the April, it is very important because the Hindu Chatra New Year calculation is done around that time period, and like the festivities, worshipping Navdurga, nine forms of goddess Durga, for the overall well-being, along with the Ram Navami. Then when we talk about the Sharad Navratri, so like the months of the September, October, which culminates with the Dashera and different festivities and the harvest of the crops. So yeah, that is what the Sharat Navratri is. So, but when we talk about the specific Gupt Navratri, so guys, even if you will pay attention, these two words can be translated in English as Gupt means secret. Navratri means the 9 days of the worship. You will get to know about that in this presentation. So the very first point is esoteric and the mystical practices. So Gupt Navratri, as the name Gupt, secret or hidden, suggests, is primarily observed by the tantrics and sadhak, spiritual practitioners, for esoteric and mystical practices, while the other Navratris are more outwardly celebrated with the communal festivities. Gupt Navratri focuses on the intense personal spiritual disciplines. So focus on the 10 Mahavidyas. Like during the Gupt Navratri, the worship of the 10 Mahavidyas, the 10 wisdom goddesses, is central. These powerful forms of the divine feminine are associated with the deeper spiritual knowledge, tantric powers, and liberation. In contrast, the more popular Navratris generally focus on the 9 form of Durga. So, yes, guys, like I do not know if you're like watching this video and you are doing any form of like spirituality or prediction professionally, so then also it will become very, very important for you that for gaining that vak siddhi, that power of prediction. So or any form of like whether you do the any form of therapy, healing and all. So in order for you to gain that power, these are the days which are generally recommended. And at the end, why it's special during this time, I will try to connect astrology or the planets with it as well. So the next point is intense sadhana and the siddhi. This period is considered extremely potent for undertaking rigorous sadhana, including mantra chanting, meditation, hatha yoga, and other tantric practices to attain siddhis, spiritual powers or accomplishment. It's believed that spiritual practices performed during Gupt Navratri yield manifold blessings and accelerate spiritual progress. Now, secrecy and solitude. The emphasis during Gupt Navratri is often on performing rituals in secret and spending time in solitude. This allows practitioners to delve deeper into their inner spiritual journey, minimize distractions, and cultivate a more intimate connection with the divine energy. Deeper spiritual realization. The purpose of the sadhana during Gupt Navratri is not typically for material desire, but for the development of consciousness and deeper spiritual realization, aiming for detachment from worldly things and moving towards liberation. In essence, while all Navratris are dedicated to the worship of the divine feminine, Gupt Navratri is specifically revered by those engaged in advanced spiritual and tantric practices due to its focus on the Mahavidya, like great wisdom, the intensity of the sadhana undertaken, and the potential for rapid spiritual advancement. Now, guys, those who want to know the basic difference between the Navdurga and the like the Das Mahavidya. So, Navdurga refers to the 9 manifestation or forms of the Hindu goddess Durga. The Navdurga are worshipped especially during the Navratri festival, which is celebrated over 9 nights. The 9 form of Durga are Shalputri, Brahmacharini, Chandraghanta, Kushmanda, Skandamata, Ma Katyani, Ma Kalratri, Maha Gauri, and Siddhidatri. Each form represents different aspects of the goddess such as power, courage, knowledge, and strength. The Navdurga forms are associated with the victory of good over evil and are believed to bestow blessings and protection. Now comes the Das Mahavidya, which are chiefly connected with these Gupt Navratris. So, Das Mahavidya refers to the 10 manifestation or forms of the divine feminine energy, often associated with the tantric worship traditions. The thus Mahavidya are considered to be embodiment of the highest knowledge and the ultimate manifestation of the Divine Mother. The 10 Mahavidyas are Kali, Tara, Tripura Sundari, Bhuvneshwari, Bhairavi, Chindamasta, Ma Dhumavati, Ma Baglamukhi, Matangi, and the Kamla. So, like the way, guys, I was talking about that when I visited that Baglamukhi and the Dhumavati temple. So, in one of the province in India, like Madhya Pradesh, oh my God, like goddess Baglamukhi, like even like when I come across now, just because I focus more on my English channel, and I majority of the people who consult with me are like international audience. But when I used to work more on the domestic, like on my Hindi channel, and most of my clients were like from India, living in India, settled in India, and I couldn't tell you how many people have talked about that. Those people who are in politics, or those people who have had serious rivalry issue, threat to their life, and those people they sought after, like they seek refuge in the worship of the goddess Baglamukhi, and goddess Baglamukhi protects. Same is the way, guys, like in that Dhumavati temple. So, they say that in the Dhumavati temple, like you are not allowed, like the married women are not allowed to do the darshan of the Ma Dhumavati. So the married women are not allowed, and they remove the curtain in front of the idol of the goddess just for few minutes only in the evening, while the time of the arati, while they are propitiating or worshipping the goddess. And I happened to see that idol of that goddess. I couldn't tell you, it was like very very empowering, that energy. So that is the only reason it drove me towards, like when I was in India, I actually wanted to visit the other like goddesses temples and other of the Shakti Peeth. But yeah, it's like you cannot progress in that path unless and until the divine does not want. And my Antardasha of the moon, my fourth lord, got over, and immediately my stars brought me back to Canada. So yeah, everything is aligned with astrology. So yeah, now next point. So each Mahavidya represents different aspect of the divine feminine, such as creation, preservation, and destruction, as well as various emotions and qualities. The thus Mahavidyas are worshipped by tantric practitioners, and the rituals associated with them are considered to be complex and esoteric. So yeah, guys, when we talk about the Das Mahavidya worship, it is generally recommended to be done under the guidance of a awakened guru. Again, guys, see, the thing is, if you will go by the perfect and proper ritual, then you have to do the kalash sthapana, you have to lit a candle, like a diya, which shall be uninterrupted for the 9 days, for the 10 days. So, if you will go in the ritual part, then I'm not the right person to listen to, because then there are like lot many do's and don'ts. I already mentioned this thing at the beginning of this video, that the objective of this video is to share the importance of it and connecting it with the planets. If you actually are serious in indulging into it, then you need someone else, like a proper teacher, guru, or we say that people who do the proper ritualistic part of it, like the Karam Kand, we call it. Like there is one guy on YouTube, if I'm not wrong, his name is Karam Kand by Anand Pathak. I'm not sure that's the name, and he also put out very good videos on the right way of performing the ritual. So yeah, so moving forward, guys, so we have discussed that. Yeah. So in summary, while Navdurga represents the 9 forms of the goddess Durga celebrated during Navratri, thus Mahavidya refers to the 10 manifestation of the divine feminine energy associated with the tantric worship tradition. The Navdurgas are more widely celebrated and worshipped, while the thus Mahavidyas are primarily venerated in tantric practices and are considered more esoteric. So yes, these thus Mahavidya and their worship in these 9 days of the Gupt Navratri is very very empowering. Now, guys, like certain slides, we'll go through it. So the Gupt Navratri spiritual benefits. So deep inner transformation. Gupt Navratri is a powerful time for internal purification. The sadhanas performed during these 9 days help cleanse karmic baggage and release deep-seated negativities. Awakening of the Kundalini energy. Through tantric and secret rituals, practitioners work on activating and balancing their chakras, leading to the gradual awakening of the Kundalini Shakti. Enhanced spiritual progress. Gupt Navratri is especially favorable for advanced sadhak, seeking higher state of meditation, siddhi, and deeper spiritual wisdom. Protection from the negative forces. Invoking the fierce forms of the goddess Durga provides divine protection from unseen negative energies, black magic, and malefic planetary influences. Manifestation of the desires, like with focused sankalp intention, Gupt Navratri rituals amplify manifestation powers, helping individuals achieve material, emotional, and spiritual goals. But I would still say, more than the material, it's the power. It's the power of that prediction, fortune telling, foreseeing things, burning your karmas, and gaining the spiritual merits. Strengthening intuition and the psychic abilities. So, regular sadhana during Gupt Navratri sharpens one's inner vision, heightens intuition, and can open doors to divine insights. Like the way, guys, see, just because in my chart is very intuitive. It's like all 8th house, and even the nakshatras like Sadbisha, mystery, illusion, all the magic and all, and dasha. It's only because of the dasha I'm doing this. So I couldn't tell you, like, even I have been telling about it that last year when I visited this, but I did not tell you that the circumstances in which I was there. I was actually having, like, my chart is very much prone to accidents and all these kind of problems and all. So even I remember I had rough up with a guy, and there was some issue going on. And right at that time, when there could have been threat on me, because my dasha was also promising it. Rahu was there in the 12th house, Saturn, Moon in the Mahadeshantar, and even in the transit, deep phase of Sadesati. So somehow, I do not know from where that motivation came, and it took me there, and I did my proper ritual and sadhana. So divine is always there. Like the way when we worship these celestial beings, they are on a dimension that they can see our past, present, and the projected future, which is unaltered, which is meant to happen. So these celestial beings have, and they are reverberating on that dimension, that they have an idea of that. And when you are invoking them, you are worshiping them. So it's just like that, they want to help you, but there is a process, there is a protocol which you have to follow. And unless and until it's not happening because of the blessing or the grace, you will not even be able to unlock that. So even if life gives you a chance to do pilgrimage, life gives you a chance to do sadhana of a god or a goddess, so you are able to do that only because the entity wants that. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share. So yes, guys, we were here like strengthening intuition and the psychic abilities. We discussed removal of obstacles and the doshas. So like Gupt Navratri is highly auspicious for removing planetary dosha, ancestral karmas, and life obstacle through special remedial rituals. Now again, guys, in the Das Mahavidya worship or any Navratris like the Chatra, Shardiya, or the Gupt Navratris, if you will go by the ritual part, so yes, there are like lots of the do's and don'ts. But if you actually want to just more than getting into the deeper nuances of the protocol part, if you just want to do the meditation and do the chanting, you can actually utilize it. Divine grace and blessings. So, above all, sincere devotion during Gupt Navratri invites the supreme grace of the Divine Mother, bringing peace, prosperity, health, and spiritual elevation. Now, guys, why Gupt Navratri is ideal for the thus Mahavidya Sadhana? So, the energies are highly receptive during these nights for the tantric rituals. The lunar energies like Gupt Navratri falls around Amavasya, create the perfect Shakti flow for accessing shadow aspects. I guess that is the only reason the divine motivated me that at the time of the new moon, based on my location, I'm recording this video. So it allows one to balance both material desires and the spiritual liberation. Protection: Mahavidya offers immense protection from negative forces, psychic attacks, planetary affliction, and inner mental distortion. So let's say, for example, guys, for example, I'll give you some basic example because I keep on coming across those charts. So if you are a Dhanu Lagna, so for example, you are a Sagittarius rising and you have a new moon combination in your 12th house. So like your moon is in Scorpio, that's a one red flag. Like sun is conjunct with it, means moon does not have a paksh and it is also there in the 12th house. It is debilitated as well. So these are the charts which are very prone to these kind of third power problems, psychic attacks. Suddenly some problem happens, major issue happens. So for those charts, for regular people, if you will do it, you will get benefited. But those people who are born with these alignments and these sensitive yogas are active in the running dasha as well, then there is no option for you. You have to do that. Now, again, guys, again, I will say the same thing. For like doing a proper ritual, you need to hire someone, and that person who knows about the ritual part, he will do the proper protocol. But even if you do not know about it, in the next slide, we will talk about the basic things which you can do. But these are the yogas which I mentioned. So, for example, again, same like this, if you are a Aries rising and your moon is afflicted in the 8th house, it is conjunct with Saturn and Rahu. So these are the typical yogas where people remain subjected to possession, spirit attack, third power problem. So that means for these kind of yogas, if you have that in your chart, so doing the sadhana in these days becomes very important. Otherwise, guys, I'm telling you, otherwise you'll be just running from pillar to post, getting your money scammed to anyone who's proclaiming any black magic removal and all. Like, because I do not know, like I don't come across a lot of that in the West, outside of the India. But yes, in India you will find a lot of the fear mongering around the removal of the black magic and all. So if you know that you have that yoga in your chart, that means you need to keep on doing it. So for example, in my case, my Mars is strong but in the 8th house right now, active in the dasha. So doing blood donation, working out, going to regular to the gym and all, doing the Hanuman Chalisa, all these things, I know that it's important. So that's what I'm trying to say. So Kundalini activation, guys, each Mahavidya opens specific blocks in the chakra system for the Kundalini ascension. So Kundalini, simply put, it's the deeper psychic subtle force in your cosmic body. That potential, if unraveled, it can actually awaken your, like, your cleverance, psychic powers, psychic faculties. So if you are in any form of fortune telling, whether you are a numerologist, astrologer, tarot reader, it becomes important for you. Now, guys, suggested daily sadhana pattern simplified. So like the pre-dawn, like in these 9 days, in the morning, early morning, this could be the pranayam, sankalp, intention. In the morning hours, goddess mantra japa, like the way I mentioned that, that uh, Lord Kal Bhairava devotee, very scholarly speaker, Raj Rishi Nandiji. So he, in his recent video, talked about doing the Siddh Kunjika, like that chanting, that recitation, like 27 times. So again, like based on your teacher, your guru, what is running in your family and all, so you can do, and you can do the worship of the goddess in that form. So in the afternoon, the Tantra meditation or the Yantra Puja, evening hours, the Homa, the fire offerings. I'm seeing this change. Like lot many of the Vedic astrologers who are very prevalent in the West, these days they are like recommending, and they are like suggesting, and attaching a lot of the importance to it. And again, guys, I come from a family. My father has been doing it, like, yeah, he's a Hasta Nakshatra, so very disciplined. Oh my God, like no matter what happens, the rules are like this. So yeah, he has been doing the Havan since, like, I guess it's been more than 20 years, and with the proper the wood and all the necessary elements with that. So I mean to say, yes, it is very very important. The doing the fire offering like the Homa has got very strong potential. So, and yes, guys, in the night, the silence, reflection, and the chakra visualization. Now, guys, the spiritual result of the Das Mahavidya, Gupt Navratri Sadhana. So, intense karma cleansing, ego dissolution, overcoming deep fear and insecurity, rapid spiritual awakening, enhanced intuition and psychic abilities, protection from the black magic and the negative influences, balance of material abundance with the spiritual progress. Why perform this Mahavidya Sadhana in the Gupt Navratri? Lunar and the cosmic energy is highly charged. Everything is connected with astrology. Again, guys, all of our Hindu festivals like the Shivratri and all the festivals are like perfectly aligned with the cosmos. I don't advocate that you have to change your religion and your belief system. Understand the science behind it. All of our Vedic rituals are deep science. There is a deep science in it, and after understanding it, you can utilize it in your own belief system, in your own like religion to elevate. Because yeah, there is one power which reverberates through all religion, so that's what I personally believe in. So yeah, guys, easier access to the shadow work and the inner alchemy, deep karmic cleansing and the ego dissolution, ideal for the kundalini rising and the chakra balancing, massive protection against psychic and energetic attacks. If your moon is weak, these days are important for you, because simply put, which all people become victim of the black magic, and only those people who have a weak aura. Now, how come someone's aura becomes weak? If your moon and the sun is, especially the moon is weak, moon does not have a pakshbal and all of that. So, yeah, unlock both material abundance and the spiritual realization. Now, guys, this is just a brief overview of this. Like the way I mentioned, I'm not right authority on this, but just based on my like astrology knowledge, I just wanted to briefly connect with it. So, guys, the Das Mahavidya. So we know this thing that the first is the Kali, which is connected with the like the power of the death and the time, destruction of the ego and the fears. And it is the worship of the goddess Kali is connected with the root chakra, Muladhara. So means energy of the grounding, destruction of the fear and deep stability can be acquired through the worship of the Kali. Sadhana during Gupt Navratri balances your survival instincts and dissolves the root insecurities. Mooladhara, people who are struck in the Mooladhara, they are still struck in the life with the basic necessities, insecurities only. Next comes the next Mahavidya is the goddess Tara, which is connected with the protection, liberation from the obstacles. Sacral chakra. Oh my god, I couldn't tell you how badly I wanted to visit the Tara Peeth. But yeah, it's like, again, till the time the god is not willing, you cannot be on that path. So I planned a lot for a visit for many pilgrimages, but yeah, my grandmother like she departed, she expired, and like I mean to say, like she left us. So, and yes, as per the Hindu family ritual, so if any death of a family member happens, then that means you cannot visit any pilgrimage, you cannot do any pilgrimage for like in a way you're not pure for those 6 months and that period of time. So yeah. So yeah, so guys, Tara, goddess Tara, so one of the Mahavidya, so governs the emotional balance, creativity, sexual energy, because it's the Swadhisthana chakra, sacral chakra. So, and activates liberation from the emotional attachments and grants creative expansion. So, yeah, creative potential. Next, guys, is the Tripura Sundari, so Shodashi, so which is like reverberated, worshipped as the divine beauty. Balance and bliss comes through her worship and is connected with the solar plexus like Manipura chakra. So, embodiment of the divine beauty, power, and the prosperity strengthens the personal willpower, confidence, and radiance during sadhana. So, yes, people who have that, we say the word in Hindi is that tej in their face. They have that glow in their face. Now, guys, when we talk about the Bhuvneshwari, so Ma Bhuvneshwari, goddess Bhuvneshwari, one of the Das Mahavidya, is connected with the space and expansion, universal consciousness, and the heart, the Anahata chakra. So again, guys, so like she's worshipped as the universal mother, expansiveness and compassion, the mother, the goddess of the compassion. And she opens, her worship opens the heart for unconditional love, emotional healing, and the universal oneness. Now, guys, next Mahavidya is the Bhairavi, connected with the throat, the Vishuddhi chakra, represents the fierce will, tapasya, and the inner power. So the goddess Bhairavi is like she's the fierce energy of the purification discipline, purifies the speech, enhances the truthful expression, and activates higher communication power. Now, guys, when we worship the like one of the Das Mahavidya and these Gupt Navratris, like the goddess Chindamasta, connected with the self-sacrifice, ego cutting, and the energy mastery, and connected with the third eye, the Ajna chakra. So she represents the and she helps in the path of the self-sacrifice, ego dissolution, lightning like awakening. So yes, it's like the power, the energy which comes from the Ketu. So it's like that kind of lightning speed awakening. So she activates, her worship activates the psychic vision, intuitive power, and sudden spiritual breakthrough. Again, guys, when we worship these gods and these deities, they are in a dimension where they know the outcome of the future. And only if that god, that goddess, that celestial entity is happy towards you, like you have attained that siddhi, that blessing from her, from that goddess and that god, so you will, that power of the cleverance will flow through you, and you will be able to foresee things, you'll be able to sense things. Now, guys, when we talk about the next, which is the goddess Dhumavati, I couldn't tell you how much I miss that those moments when I was in front of the goddess Dhumavati in that pilgrimage. So yeah, she represents the void and the emptiness, acceptance of the loss, and the Sahasrar chakra. So goddess Dhumavati is like she represents the emptiness, detachment, transcendence, dissolves the attachment to the material world, leading to surrender into the absolute void, that Param Shiva. Now, guys, next is the oh my God, goddess Baglamukhi. I couldn't tell you. It's like yeah, that shrine, because generally people go there like in the Baglamukhi, they seek refuge when there is a extreme political rivalry and the problems. So yeah, but in the case of in my case, I'm just devoted to the goddess and to the higher power. So yeah, but that you sense that power once you are there. So yeah, goddess Baglamukhi, she is connected with the power and control, speech and mind mastery, and the Manipura chakra. If you want to connect it with the chakras, the Kundalini. So Baglamukhi means power to stun enemies, control over the speech and the mental fluctuations. So she has that. She grants you that mastery of the energy redirection, silence of the inner chatter, and the concentration. Now, when we talk about the goddess Matangi, she is connected with the inner speech and the intuitive wisdom, the Tantra mastery, and she is connected with the Vishuddha and the Ajna. So yeah, the mastery over the music, knowledge, arts, and the refined speech comes through her worship, through her grace. So she grants the wisdom, poetic expression, and Saraswati like intelligence. And yeah, guys, when we talk about the one of the 10 Mahavidya, 10 Mahavidya, uh, the the great wisdom. So she represents, she grants us with the abundance, spiritual and material prosperity, and is connected with the Anahata or the Sahasrara chakra. So that means through her grace, prosperity comes, wealth comes, spiritual fulfillment comes, and she harmonizes material abundance with the spiritual devotion. Now, guys, okay, the last slide briefly. Now, the way I've been saying this thing that we can connect astrology with it. So, guys, see, the thing is, you have to understand this thing that what we have learned so far, the nectar of it is compared to the Chaitra Navratri or the Shardiya Navratris, these Gupt Navratris have got immense tantric spiritual potential. And for that to happen, first of all, any if you want to break that wheel of the dimension in which you are living in and you want to transcend, Saturn and the Pisces energy has to be strong. For any penance, any tapasya, any discipline in the sadhana, Saturn has to be strong. So, in a way, Saturn in the Pisces right now is a very empowering combination. Again, guys, like even at a time when I'm recording this video, you know this thing that so like the new moon energy and that blessing of the planet Jupiter is promising that. Second thing is, oh my god, Rahu and Ketu axis needs to be strengthened. People who are born with a empowered Rahu and Ketu axis, they are born with a promise. There is certain encrypted gifts and the talents which they have. So people, like, see guys, the thing is, when we talk about people in whose life they know about their talents, they know about their potential, and they reverberate and progress and grow accordingly. But those people in whose case life surprises you, epiphany, sudden awakening, realization, manifestation of sudden, discovering the sudden talents, sudden turnaround of the things, all of that is in the guys in the control of the Rahu and Ketu. So I mean to say, even in the transit, if Rahu and Ketu's axis is empowered, there is no doubt, there is no debate. Even a beginner who is in the field of the astrology knows about it that Rahu in the Aquarius is strong, Ketu in the Leo is strong. When it comes down to the Rahu and Ketu axis, it is open to debates. Some people connect Rahu strengthened in the Virgo, some people connect Rahu strengthened in the Gemini. So that might be good for the material, communication, intelligence, the material prospects. But for something to do with the spirituality and through activation of your like triggering of your chakra, activation of your kundalini, experiencing that bliss. So Rahu Ketu axis is very, very empowered. And the third thing is that, guys, see, obviously we're talking about like in invoking the power form of the goddess. Like we talk about goddess Baglamukhi, how powerful she is, all these Mahavidyas. So that means it's not only the Ketu, Mars also becomes important, and they both are conjunct in this period of time. So everything, all of these things are making this Gupt Navratri very, very auspicious for all of us. Like I couldn't tell you, you cannot, you will not get this kind of alignment in this lifetime. All that's all what I can say. Because Saturn will come back in the Pisces and again next 30 years, and then where Rahu and Ketu axis is going to be, how Mars is going to be behaving. So we are getting a perfect alignment for being initiated in this. So yeah, guys, that's the end of the discussion. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching this video.